Our next guests have been at the forefront of all the ways that content and business collide as part of the wildly popular Colin and Samir show with YouTube just this week, announcing over $100 billion in creator payouts the last few years. Is there ever a better time to talk to the guys who have been covering and living through this very crucial evolution from the inside out? Colin and Samir, welcome to the show. Good to have both of you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, let's start with this top line news out of YouTube. $100 billion in creator payouts since 2021. What did you guys make of that figure? And what do you think overall that bit of financial reality says about the state of the creator economy today?
Yeah, I think YouTube has always been the best platform for creators to make money in this modern era. We started on YouTube in 2010, and if you look back, at that time, even at that time, the YouTube Partner Program existed. It has not really wavered since then. It's only grown, and the only thing that has happened since then, beyond the fact that we are in partnership with the platform on a 45-55 split on advertising that plays on our channel, is that the mediums in which people have consumed our content have changed. Like today, more people watch YouTube on their living room TV than any other streaming platform, more than Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. And so that means now, as creators, we're making longer form content. We have audience sizes that are commiserate to that of television networks in the past. And the advertising industry has shifted its dollars to follow the audience. So it's been a really exciting 15 years for us as creators. The amazing thing with YouTube is that the partner program just hasn't changed, right? They've committed to being in partnership with us as creators. So as YouTube grows, we grow as well.
Yeah, Colin, have you gotten that same sense of collaboration, that spirit of partnership from other platforms? Maybe not quite to the degree of YouTube, but who are some of the other players that you guys have leveraged with or maybe spoken with over the years? Because I'm sure you got a lot of the others looking over at Google and YouTube, and they're saying, "Wait a minute, look at their relationship with creators. How can we emulate that?"
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's obviously creators turn to different platforms for different reasons, and platforms have different incentives. I think the main difference with YouTube is, to Samir's point, it is one of the few, if not the only, platform where you can upload and deliver long form content where audiences are actually ready to receive it sitting on their sofas. So, of course, Instagram is incredibly valuable to creators, but a piece of Instagram content really serves as a unit of conversation. It's a short form piece of content that you share with a friend in a specific cultural moment. And that just serves a different purpose than a long form piece of content that you might consume on YouTube and truly get deeply connected to.
Yeah. From where you guys are situated, how much of this $100 billion in the last 4 years or so is accessible not only to the biggest players with the most subscribers? Is there a sense that small or medium sized channels get a slice of the pie as well?
Yeah, I think what's important to note is like that figure is representative of advertising that goes through Google's platforms, right? Like through AdSense is what we receive. But a lot of smaller creators and more niche creators make the majority of their money through sponsorships. And I would say that as you're seeing the advertising business grow through Google's platforms, it's also growing in the world of direct sponsorships with creators. And actually, the more niche you are, the more valuable you are to an advertiser in that category. So if you're a creator who makes stuff about fintech or finance, right? Like you're very valuable to credit card companies. If you're a creator like Epic Gardening, this creator named Kevin Espiritu, he has a whole channel around gardening. Hundreds of thousands of people watch his videos. Every September, he releases a video called 11 Crops to Grow in September. That is incredibly niche. Around 500,000 to 1 million people watch this video every September. That is valuable to the gardening niche. So if you look at what's happening in the world of YouTube, there's an amazing stat that's 47% of Gen Z say they're a fan of something that no one they know personally is also a fan of. So fame has gotten fragmented, media has gotten fragmented, and there's these small pockets where you have an incredibly deep connection with a very specific group of people. And that is valuable in the direct sponsorship business. So I would say that, the rev share with YouTube is incredible, but what's happening in the economy as a whole is we're seeing brands turn to creators in direct relationships.
I gotta be honest, fellas, I'm not even into gardening myself, but I want to know the 11 crops that must be planted for the month of September. That's a good tease there. You guys have interviewed a lot of creators. Colin, talk to me about some of the things that you feel most separate the creators who can scale sustainably versus the creators, and we all know the stories, people who face a lot of burnout, faced with the pressure of trying to post and be consistent with their content.
Sure. Samir and I often talk about how when you look at creators, there's a spectrum from artist to distributor. So a lot of creators start out as artists and they just get into it because they want to express themselves. That's very different than being a distributor, right? Being in the media business and understanding that you need to perform every single time you put out a piece of content. And you need to reach that audience and continue to grow. And the reality is that the creators who are able to scale and build businesses often are the ones who lean a little bit more towards distributor. They're looking at how do they actually grow? How do they build systems? How do they employ people to make sure that they're hitting those marks and getting content out every single week?
Do you guys have a personal favorite YouTube video you guys have released, or is that like asking you to pick your favorite child?
uh, I think like since we've been making the Colin and Samir show, I think we've had like a lot of really cool conversations. I would say the first ever interview we did with Mr. Beast uh, a couple years ago was really fun because it felt like no one really yet knew about him, and we were friends with him, and we got to tell this story that was very novel and very new. That was really cool. Um, I also think just some of the more unique and different conversations that we get to have that expand the lens of what a creator is today, because I think that term is actually really all encompassing now. Like everyone's in the media business, everyone makes media, everyone is creating a show or using media to tell their story. And there's a great creator named uh, um, oh my God, Jacob. What's his last name? Musician.
Jacob Collier?
Jacob Collier. I'm so sorry. Jacob Collier, who is this incredible musician who started on YouTube and was discovered on YouTube. And so I think today, like the world of creators is so expansive and like so many people are making media that leads them down to a different path. That could be like a creator named Jonathan Katz Moses, who is a woodworker who now has a whole business creating woodworking tools, or a creator like Jacob Collier who decided to sing on YouTube, get discovered, and become a famous musician.
There's a lot of different ways that creators are accessing the revenue stream, Lane, creator funds, brand deals. You mentioned a few of them earlier. There's merch that a lot of people sell courses. Is there any particular type of revenue stream for creators you think is a little bit underrated, underutilized, or a bit under the radar?
Yeah, I would say live events and touring is starting to become more popular and more impactful. And I think the reason for that is that views are very available right now. If you study algorithms, if you study these platforms, you can find viewership, but it's much more difficult to actually build brand. And I think live touring events, getting people out of their home, not only builds your brand, but proves that you are creating that brand and you are actually building a true community. You're not just searching for views for viewership's sake.
Before I let you guys go, question for both of you. Tell me one thing as creators that you wish you had known sooner about building a career on YouTube.
I would say first, define your audience. And then second, understand the value prop. What are you actually delivering to them? If you look back at the beginning of our channel, it's actually unbelievable how many different topics we tried to cover, how many different types of audiences we tried to cover. You really just got to define your audience and understand the value you're providing.
I would say just recognizing that the life of a creator, the career of a creator is the goal of it is just to get the more opportunities to create things. There's not really an end until you decide there's an end. So as you're getting into it, it is absolutely a lifelong marathon, and you have to deeply love the process of what you're making. So we always tell creators, be careful of what you're making, because if you don't like it and it becomes successful, that's your thing. That success in our business is the opportunity to get more of what you're currently doing. So make sure you really deeply enjoy what you're making, because it's going to be a lifelong process of just commitment to that craft.
Colin and Samir of Colin and Samir Show on YouTube. Fellas, very grateful for your time. Congratulations on all the success and helping us better understand the current landscape and all the opportunities there for creators. This is the new age of media. Fellas, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.